Hello guys, my name is Gavin Panu. Welcome to M Trading's post-session webinar. So this is a weekly webinar that we do. We host technical analysis, we talk about fundamental analysis, trade setups, we even look at technical indicators such as the RSI, trend line, support resistance, and then we can go into deeper technical sort of approaches such as looking at Ichimoku, Elliott waves and so on. But today we're going to go into sort of some of the basics, which is how do I go about forming trade ideas and what do I use? Yep. So the benefit of M Trading is their platform allows you greater knowledge with their traders blog, which is what I'm on currently. So as you can see from M Trading's website, if you go into analytics and then go into traders blog, this gives you an idea of, okay, how do I trade CFDs? If you don't have any ideas what contract for difference is, go into this, do more research, along with other articles that have been released on a daily basis. And if you're looking for fundamental analysis to improve your fundamentals, one key point I would say is read, read, read. So the more you read, the more you'll understand the fundamentals behind specific assets. So one of the key articles that's been written on M Trading's website is All Eyes on British Economic Calendar. So with Brexit, there is a lot of impact that's taking place. And yep, so if you wanted better information, please do go into this tool here, which is known as fundamental analysis, and look at the top 5 articles. Yep, so top 5 articles, as you can see, sort of really go into the details of what is the fundamental facts behind what's being released, so the economic news that's being released on a daily basis, and also what do traders take away from this? So how do traders filter that information and produce that within their trades? And then let's go into technical analysis. So technical analysis, if you feel like you're lacking in that department, then yes, this is a great tool to use where you can view by professionals their chart analysis. Ideally, you want to do your own analysis. Yep. So you want to improve your knowledge in technical analysis. Then please do follow this. We cover important levels, so important assets along with important levels that are being respected most recently. So these are current assets that you should be looking at to trade. And even we go into detail in regards to their support levels and resistance levels. So what are the key numbers to be aware of? Okay, and then you can look at the Forex Calendar. So Forex Calendar is a good tool here. So it gives you the breakdown of all the news that's being released on a daily basis. Yep. So as you can see, for today, we had some sterling news, so sterling high impact news at 9:30 a.m. This was the CPI year-over-year number, so it does have a huge impact on the inflation rate, which was estimated at 3%, so that is year-over-year. And it was in line with the 3% forecast, as you can see. Yep. In addition to that, we did have some speeches that took place today. So in particular, we did have Mark Carney speak today, and he's the head of the Bank of England. And then later on tonight, you will see some news that's based on Kiwi and for the US dollar. Yep, so be aware of that, guys. Okay, so let's go into the charts themselves. Yep, so let's go into the charts. Okay, so one key, if you want to combine everything on your trading platform, there are some great tools that you can use. So let's go into those tools, and that is only available in Supreme Edition. So M Trading Supreme Edition, as its name says, it is supreme. It gives you that extra edge that you require as a trader. So one of the key aspects that I look at is the market manager. So if I just go into, actually before I do that, let's go into Connect. Connect gives me a better idea of what's taking place in the market. So all relevant news. So all relevant news is being sourced for you from different sources. So it's from different websites. So as you can see, we've got some news from Forex Factory. So EU ready to speed up Brexit talks, but important to sort out past issues first. Yep, so that is some high impact news there. So UK is doing substantial work to prepare for a no deal scenario. So that is what's been released by the Trade Secretary Fox. Yep. And then, yep, UK trade ministers are, they view it as initially we may be worse off in the case of a no Brexit deal. So there is talks of a no Brexit deal currently. So that is causing greater volatility, hence why in fundamental analysis on MTrading's website you have the UK as the potential to cause more volatility in the market. In addition to that, we have other news. So other news, so we do have, okay, there's breaking over here. So Carney, BOE, expects inflation to peak above 3% for October. So there's lots of news on there. And these are all relevant news. Another news that I can mention to you guys, which is US President Trump, he is likely to announce who's going to be the head of the Federal Reserve, so the Fed chair. He has a pool of 5 candidates at the moment, but the announcement is expected before Trump departs Asia, which is 3rd of November, roughly. Yep, so 3rd of November is roughly the time that we are expecting for that news there. Okay, so if you are looking for news, yep, so you can feed all of this. You can set this up as a RSS feed, and you can add your own feed to this as well. So this is allows you to customize it to your needs, and you can undock this window. So you can undock this window, have this as a separate window. If you've got multiple screens, you can set them up on different screens and so on. Yep. Okay. So in addition to that, we do have the calendar. So the calendar, if I just enlarge this, okay, so we have the calendar on here, which gives us most current news which are going to be released. As you can see, it just tells you specifically, so there's no sort of red, orange or yellow. It tells you what is high, medium and low impact news, along with what it will have an impact on, and then you have the information itself. And then you can actually go into this specifically. So it will link, it has a link that you can bring up and go into more detail. So that is an important tool to have. Yep. So all your numbers are in here, guys. So this is some great information over here provided by MTrading. Okay. So that's this. So let me just go into another chart. So let's have a look at this. This was a trade that we took last week, guys. This is a trade we looked at last week. We saw the trend in dollar CAD, where this retracement. Yep, so it's looking bullish so far. We're in a profit at the moment. And if I was looking at my charts, and how do I want to go about looking at all the assets currently, how much they've moved, what are the bid and ask price, and how many trades did I get in, and am I up or down? Yep. So there is a great expert advisor that you could use called Market Manager. So let me just bring that up here. So Market Manager just over here. Okay, so let's add this to the charts. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is it. So this allows me to have a market view, so a market watch in a way. So I do have all the assets on the left-hand side. So these are all the assets that I could potentially take trades in. I have their bid and ask price. Yeah, so bid and ask price, and then it's broken down into if I've taken any positions, what was the lot size, and am I in profit or at a potential loss. So this is something that I'll have on the side. Yep. So on one of my screens, I'll have this on the right hand side as it is, and then I have all my account details over here and any individual terminals that I require. So this gives me sort of an overview of what the current price is, am I up or down, and so on. Yep, so please do use these features, guys. This adds an extra edge to your trading style. Okay, and let's move on. And in addition to that, let me just finish off with this, which is you can have it just to your open position. So you can have it specifically to all your open positions, and you can monitor it as you go along. Yep, as you place your trades, you can have this on the right or the left, wherever you want to place this, and view all your trades at with that market. Okay, let's just bring that up again. So, yeah. So you can have it as open positions. You can be focused in, say, dollar pairs. You want to look at all dollar pairs, euro, yen, and so on. Open and pending orders also. Yep. So that's the benefit there. Okay, and finally, another key point that I do look at regularly is the session map. This is also a very handy tool there. So you can place this on the bottom right over here, and just looking at what markets, where the market is, where the volume is. So one key point I want to mention, guys, the London and the US hours are the most liquid hours. Yep. So the London hours are from GMT time, 6 a.m. to about 10 p.m. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then it drops. Then the liquidity drops till noon. Yep. So till midday GMT time. And then from midday till 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we have the next move in liquidity. So we have more an increase in liquidity, and that's during the New York opening hours. And then New York during closing period, yep, so around 10 p.m. GMT, that is when you see liquidity drop significantly. Yep, so knowing what session you're trading, whether you're trading the London session, the New York session, or the Tokyo, Sydney, this also adds an extra edge to your trading. So remember that London hours, so the London hours, 40% of the volume is produced during London hours. New York hours is just below 40%, so it's in the region of 25 to 35% range, and Tokyo and Sydney is a lot less. It ranges between 15 up to 25% range. Yep. Okay, so moving on from there, guys, the next part to this webinar is looking at the charts. So we are going to look at the charts and have a better understanding of what's taking place in the market. One key point I do want to stress, guys, is you should be looking at oil. One of the key points to look at right now is oil. In the last few days, we've seen a lot of information coming out in regards to oil. So, yeah, please do look at oil. So let's go into an oil chart, which was in this region here. So let me just have a look. I did have an open. Okay, so let me just go into the chart window. Let me add my template. So guys, you should be looking to create your own templates. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to look at that 1 hour time frame. Let's zoom out, and let's look at the bigger picture view. So as you can see, the bigger picture view is this. It is bullish, guys. We are in a bullish move over here. So we've seen from these lows almost respecting the 55 level. We've seen a bullish move to the top side, testing the 58.45 level. Yep. So there is some retracement taking place currently. So this could be seen as a profit-taking area. Yep. So there is some profit-taking at this point here. So I think it was the Iranian Deputy Oil Minister, and he spoke and he said that the country supports an extension to OPEC and non-OPEC production deal through to the end of 2018. So if they keep a output freeze and limit the production, we are likely to see an increase in oil prices. Yep. And I'm looking at both oil, guys. Look at Brent oil. And Brent oil, what is it? Brent oil is all oil outside of the US, so all oil outside of the US. And WTI, or crude oil as it's known, that is all oil within the US. It's known as West Texas Intermediate. Okay, yep. So there's some news in regards to oil. So that is a very bullish move there. So we've seen it incline. So looking at the bigger picture, so if I'm looking at the 4 hour time frame, guys, what's the first thing do you spot, guys? What's the first thing I'm looking at on the 4 hour time frame? And I could take one step back if I need to. Okay, so the first thing I will be looking for is support and resistance, guys. Place your support and resistance levels. So I'm looking for key areas where I can see that the market's been trending, and that is a key level. So looking at these highs here. So these highs being at 57.26. Let's define another key level there, which is that previous low there. A previous low getting down to 55.25. And then we take the resistance level, which is just below the 60 handle. We're looking at 59.50. So that's a round number there, guys. I do like that round number, 59.50. That's a very strong number. On a daily basis, when I do my asset price checks, I'll go through multiple assets and I'll look at their current price. The first thing I'm looking at, okay, what is the current price and how much has it moved from yesterday's price? Yeah, so on a daily basis, the first thing I'll do in the morning, usually about 7 in the morning, I will be looking at the current asset price and how much has it moved from yesterday's price at 7 a.m. Yep, so I'm comparing it from yesterday's 7 a.m. so to now, today's 7 a.m. That is a 24-hour sort of check on prices. Then I look at news and markets, how they've been moving overall during the night. Yep, so what news has come out and so on. Then I'll check for the economic calendar, what news are going to develop for the day. Yep, so what news are going to impact the markets today. Once I've done that, and then I'll come back to the asset price and I'll look at, okay, out of these asset prices, which one are closest to their round numbers or have just broke these round numbers. And straight away, that allows me to view a few markets and see, is there any potential setup? So the first thing I'll be looking for in this case, if I just now adjust this to the right hand side. Okay, so the first I'm looking for is I'm looking for a break through this level. I'm looking for a break through this level, so I'm looking to buy it at a higher price, but that's not an expensive price. I'm not looking to buy at an expensive price. I'm looking to buy at a higher price than the previous high. So I'm looking to break that previous high, which is this resistance level at 59.50, and look for a higher target. The next key number I'd be aware of is that 60 level barrier. So maybe I may consider, okay, let's not wait for 59.50. I want to see if there's an impulsive move that breaks through the 59.50 and the 60 barrier. If it breaks through that level, yes, that gives me a very bullish sign of this particular asset. And then there is the other type of trading style where I can employ, I'm looking for a bargain. Yep, so I'm looking for a bargain, and where would I see a bargain? Okay, so that's where my analysis defines a bargain. So I'll be looking for a trend line from these lows. So the lows I'll be looking for, you could have a trend line something similar to this. So now I'll zoom in. Let's just zoom a little bit. Let's see if I can get a bit more section. Okay, so let's just zoom out by 1. Okay, so we're looking at the big picture, guys. We're looking at the big picture. Now, what I've seen over here, guys, is that I have a trend line. How many touches do I require to my trend line? We require 2 touches to place a trend line. So you place it from one point, then you place it to the next point. So you take it from this point to the next point. That's your 2 touches. You extend that line. Then you require a third, an additional touch for confirmation to give validation of that level. Yep. So how many touches do we have? 1, 2. This is more of a touch to that 200 moving average. We have a third touch here. Yep, and then our 4th touch in this area. So we've got 4 strong touches. Yes, there was a slight false breakout. So that's a false breakout. That could be fundamentally led. That could have been more of a test through that level to see if there's more sellers going to come into the market. But no, what do people do? Most of the buyers come back into the market to push the market back up. You can see a significant move higher, testing these levels over here. Yep. So if I just highlight this point here, so you can see there was a test, original test, getting down to this low. Tested this point, what happened? You saw buyers coming back in this level, so where they've originally got in. So that, you know, buyers got in at this point, buyers got in this point. They thought, why not? We'll get in when it's at a bargain price such as this, led to a sharp move higher back within its range again, testing this level here. So this level being 52.85 or just above, and then a slight retracement dip back to the 50 period moving average, and then we've seen a continuation. Yep. So it is bullish overall, guys. What I'm viewing this is a bullish asset, guys. Okay, so the next part to this is, what do I do from here, guys? What do I do from here? So if I'm looking for a bargain price, how am I going to trade it? So the next key point will be is to look for an area of support. So we know that this trend line, is a support level. So this trend line is a strong support level. We've got these multiple touches. I've got 1, 2. I wouldn't class that as 3, that's more of a support for the 200 period moving average. And I've got my 3rd touch there, 4th touch in this area. So I've got 4 strong touches. I'm waiting for price action to come back potentially to this area Once we come back to this area, that's giving me my 5th touch. I can look to take a trade from here. Just take it from trade from here, take it up to that previous high. That could potentially be a target, stop loss below this low. Yeah, so that's one trade idea, guys. When you're looking at doing analysis, it opens up many doors for you guys. You should be able to find many opportunities of how you go about your positioning in the market. Yep, whether you're short term, medium term, long term, it varies, guys. Yep, so you can always find a potential setup. That is why when two people take a trade, whether it's 2 long positions or 2 short positions, one could make a profit, the other could lose, purely from the way they place their stop loss, the way they place their target, and when they get into the market. They may get in too early, they may get in too late. Yep. So that's the way to view it, guys. Okay, so using our indicators, guys, let's now use our indicators. We've done our primaries, which are support, resistance, our trend lines over here. And then let's zoom in now. So let's zoom in. What is the moving averages telling me? So I can see that the moving average 200 has been respected. Yep. So we first tested the 200, back below it, then broke through it, retest of the 200 moving average, and then we moved higher. So we have moved higher at this point here. So that's a key point there. So test there and a test there. Yep. So the next time price action comes back down to this 200 period moving average, that could be an area of strong support for a potential long position. Yep, so that's one key point there. Let's zoom in, guys. Let's zoom in. Let's have a closer view of the candles. We want to view some candles now, guys. Okay, so what I'm looking for is the 50 period moving average. So I'm looking for candlestick analysis along with the reaction it has to that 50 period moving average. So go through, backtest, guys, backtest. This is backtesting. This is looking at previous price action, how they react with your indicators leads to a higher confirmation trade if they respect it the next time. Yep, so that's what we're looking for. So we can see that's the first touch there, second, third touch in this region, the 4th touch, then we had the breakthrough. Breakthrough, tested it as resistance. I'm still happy with that. Then we had the breakthrough, almost a retest in this area here. So we've had multiple touches all the way through the 50 for the 50 period moving average. So this gives me additional confirmation where we could see the next retest back to this level could lead to the next drive higher, so the next move higher. And our secondary indicator, what are we seeing on our secondary indicator? So we can see on the RSI, so we're looking at the RSI, guys, on a 14 period, so 14 period RSI. Anything above this level is seen as overbought, guys. This is overbought. Anything below 30 is seen as oversold. So that shows that, okay, if we go to the overbought zone, the market is extended significantly higher than expected. So it's in an expensive zone. If it moves below this moves below the 30 level, that is seen as a potential increase in selling pressure and a bargain price. And how often has it got back to the 30 period moving average? Not often, guys. It's one touch here, potentially close enough to that touch there, and in this area here. So we've only had 3 opportunities to buy in using our RSI secondary indicator. But the benefit of the RSI is you can also chart the RSI. Look at the higher highs and higher lows within this. So you may draw a trend line in this direction. So if I now just use my indicator tool, let's add something similar to this. So I'm looking for something as this. So what I'm waiting for is RSI line to bounce off this level. I'm looking for this retracement to bounce off either the 50, the trend line, or the 200 moving average. Yep, and that will give me an additional confirmation, guys. Okay, we're getting some RSI support with our primary and secondary analysis on the charts. Remember, the RSI indicator is just a filter of price. Yep. So therefore, do not use this as your only confirmation to take a trade. Have this in addition to your confirmation of your primary analysis. Has it reached over? How often have we reached in the overbought zone, guys? Multiple times. You can see in this area here, almost in this area here, so this area here, this area here, so all the way through, extremely to the overbought zone in this level. and you can see how we've not just broke through the 70 level, we almost got up to the 85.90 level. So we almost got to 85.90, and that is when the market assumed, okay, that is an overextended move. So this move here is an overextended move. So what took place? A correction. So this is your correction of this move from this low up to that high. So that is a correction of that move. Yep. So now we're looking for that next wave higher. So the benefit is, guys, as we've got multiple touches in that overbought zone, this is showing me that this is more of a buyer's market than a seller's market, and it's not ranging. We can obviously tell it's not ranging. This is more of a buyer's market. So I'm looking for a continuation in the trend, and I'm looking for when we get close enough to the oversold area, that is a buying opportunity. Yep, but I have also been known for buying in the overbought zone, guys. Overbought side, guys, purely because if the trend is up, the market can stay trending for. Trends can persist, guys. Trends can persist. Trends can carry on. We don't know the trend's going to end till it's too late. Yep. So therefore, if you stay in the overbought zone, you can also buy in the overbought zone. But then, because you're buying in the overbought zone, you do need a wider stop loss. So therefore, you do have a wider stop loss to place. So if I was looking to buy in this region over here, when we was in the overbought zone at this point over here, then I'd have to have a stop loss that's wide enough down to this low, maybe even down to this low or close to that trend line. So I need a wider stop loss. Yep, and that's extremely important. The last thing I want to do is, okay, I'll get in at this point over here, and I'm just going to place a stop loss here, because what would happen is you'll naturally get stopped out. You have too tight of a stop loss. Yep. So remember that, guys. If you're looking to buy in the overbought zone, you need to have a wider stop loss. Yep. Okay, guys. So yes, we've covered one asset, guys, which has been in the news. It's extremely important to go through this particular asset. It gives us a better understanding of what's going on in the markets. We talked about the fundamentals behind this, that the Iranian deputy oil minister is looking to extend the production deal through to the end of 2018. Plus, we do have additional fundamentals that come through in regards to oil, so please do watch out for this, and yep, be aware of the Brexit scenario, guys. There's a potential no deal scenario. Yep, so there's a no deal potential, which can have a greater volatility in the market. And yes, work with your technical analysis, guys. Your technical analysis will give you good areas to enter with correct stop losses and the correct target levels. Don't be too greedy, guys. Don't expect one trade to go to the moon. Take each step at a time. So if I'm looking to get in this zone here, if I'm looking to get in this zone over here, I'm going to only target back to the previous. I'm not going to extend my target to the 60 level, because I assume that, okay, we're eventually going to break through this level. No, I'll wait till take profit at this point over here, and then when we eventually do break through the 59.50 and the 60 level, that's when I can take another trade setup. Yep, so take each trade one step at a time. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the M Trading webinar. We'll be back with you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.